Welcome to Wellness with John, resources to help you thrive. I'm John Peters. And in today's video, I want to talk a little bit about monk mode. And I'm not going to talk about the whole thing, all the different angles from which to think about how to prepare for, plan for, and do monk mode. But I want to give you a way to make doing monk mode about 1 trillion times more effective for you. So stay tuned. Okay, so I'm making this video because I'm poking around YouTube, and not surprisingly, like you, I found lots of pretty good videos about people reporting on how to do monk mode and why to do monk mode, what types of things you can get out of it, and tips for how to practice it. I may make a video like that myself because I think that type of thing can be good, but I wanted to make this video because I've got some experience and training and stuff to offer you that I think could make your monk mode, if you choose to do it, a lot more of what you want it to be. So let me give my background of why I say that. So, like 35 years ago, I was all stressed out, discombobulated, anxious, out of sorts, without good, clear, healthy goals, and engaged in lots of toxic shit in my life. And I started exploring healthier things, including meditation, yoga, Kundalini yoga, Zen meditation, retreats, Qigong, Tai Chi, things like that. And so part of what I ended up doing, because I was pretty aggressively pursuing it, because I had a good reason to. My life kind of sucked in a lot of ways, even though there were lots of good parts. I really needed to improve things, okay? And when I got into meditation and training in Eastern forms of contemplative practices, I got to the point where I was doing daily meditation. I was doing a fair amount of daily meditation. And it started to make sense to do a retreat or two and to explore doing more intensive kind of plunges, if you were, into deeper practice, right? So rather than just, okay, I'm going to meditate 10 minutes a day or 30 minutes a day or whatever, I'm going to have an intensive day of practice. So long story short, over the years, starting in the early parts of my practice when I was very aggressive with it, but continuing for years, I have done plunge, intensive periods of practice, anywhere from half a day up to 30-day, residential retreats where I'm meditating, doing yoga all day, every day for a month, right? And so I've also done periods of my life, even though this was before monk mode was around, that you could call monk mode, where I designed a program that included meditation and exercise and self-study and deepening my awareness and dedication to certain types of work and practice and service. And so, I've done monk mode of varying lengths over the years. But also, I became a therapist, and for 25 years, I've been a mindfulness-based cognitive therapist. And I also have taught several thousand people contemplative practices, including mindfulness meditation, and a lot of related things. So in my practice and my position as adjunct faculty at a university where I taught thousands of students these techniques, I've taught several thousand people how to meditate. I've also been meditating for 35 years daily, and I've done tons of intensive periods of practice, many of which looked like monk mode, some of which were even more intense than the monk mode you're probably considering doing. And so all of that to say that when I look at the videos that are really popular right now, encouraging people to do monk mode, on one hand, I'm very enlivened. I'm enlivened that you and others are considering taking some time, a week, 2 weeks, a month, 90 days, to do some organized, structured, committed practice in order to improve yourself. And I'm not going to quibble about all the goals people have associated with why to do monk mode. And I might come back and talk about, the applications of monk mode later in another video. But the aspect that I really want to talk about today is meditation, because I 100% agree with all of the people who recommend including meditation as a component of your monk mode. However, the reason I'm making this video is, having taught several thousand people meditation over the years, and to this day using it with lots of patients for anxiety, for depression, for chronic pain, for self-improvement, I would have to say that 99.99% of people don't do meditation correctly, and therefore don't get the benefits that they reasonably can expect from meditation, but they're not properly taught. And so I wanted to make a video because I'm a little worried that a lot of people are going to do monk mode, and the more straightforward parts, like I'm going to exercise for an hour a day, or I'm going to read an enlivening book for an hour a day, or I'm going to not have sex for this time period, or whatever it happens to be. There's some components of monk mode. You just have to make a decision, you have to commit, and you have to follow through, and you're going to be able to do that. However, the meditation part is not so simple, because when people read a book or watch a video on meditation, a lot of times they don't come away with a good acquisition of the skill of how to do meditation. And so here's what I want to offer you in this video. I want to teach you how to prepare yourself to do the meditation part of monk mode very, very well. And I mean very well. And so just bear with me here and consider experimenting with what I offer here, because if you do what I suggest, when you start your monk mode, your meditation is going to be 1,000,000,000 times more effective for you, and you're going to, it's going to serve your goal way better than if you do some half-assed kind of meditation that is just bullshit and doesn't work for you. So the thing about meditation is, you have to know how to be mindful. You have to know how to deal with the state of mind that occurs during the meditation practice in order to do the meditation correctly, okay? And you have to do that in a way that you actually acquire the skill, because, meditation is like any sort of heroic, arduous task. And some things just require knowing about how to do it and how to do the skill. Let's say juggling. If you learn the skill and you get coordinated, then you can juggle the balls. But if you're going to do something that's heroic, then you actually have to have skill, and you have to have developed skill, or either it's not going to work or you are going to injure yourself. Now, with meditation, you're not going to injure yourself. It's just going to suck, and it's not going to work, and it's going to be a waste of your time, and it's not going to be supportive of your goals. But you get the point, right? So it's not just juggling. It's juggling a heavy object that you have to figure out how to do correctly in order to get the optimal outcome, okay? So what I really want you to do is learn how to be mindful, learn how to deal with what happens in the middle of the meditation session so that you actually can meditate, and so that you do it in a way that just isn't just ultra boring and excruciating and that you give up on and you don't do, or that's a waste of your time and doesn't support you, okay? So here's one trick that I would like you to do. And here, by the way, here's what I recommend. If you're planning on doing a monk mode, I assume you're not going to start it today. In fact, I hope you don't start it today. I hope you're going to start it like a week or two from now. And between the time you watch this video and when you actually start the monk mode, every day I would like you to do certain practices, because when you get to the point where you're doing your monk mode and you're going to do what you've agreed with yourself to do, which might be, let's say, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever the time period you're going to meditate during your monk mode practice, you're going to be prepared to do it, okay? So in order to learn how to be present, here's what I want you to do. 2 or 3 times every single day, I want you to do the 3-3-3 practice. And what I mean by that is, take a moment, stop, and I want you to notice 3 things you can see, and I want you to just label them slowly out loud to yourself what they are. Camera, wall, desk, okay? Simple. Label 3 things you see in your environment, okay? The next 3 thing is going to be 3 things you hear. And you may not immediately hear 3 things, But if you hear, okay, I can hear a bird chirping somewhere. I can hear the blower on the air conditioning unit. I can hear the lights are making some sort of humming noise. Okay, whatever the three things are, stay with your aural inputs until you have named three things. Okay, the last three is three things you feel. I feel my butt against the chair that I'm sitting in. I can feel my wrists and my hands sitting on this desk. I can feel my feet on the support thing underneath my desk. Okay. So 333, it's a way to teach you to be in the present moment in a very engaged way. Do that 3 times every single day, starting today and every day until you start monk mode. Okay. Number 2, another way to be aware of what's going to go on in your mind and to work with it in a present oriented way so that you actually stay with the present oriented meditative state during the sessions of your meditation is to you got to develop the ability to notice what you're thinking, what you're feeling, but then stay with what you've decided to do during your meditation. Okay. And I recommend once a day, at least every day between now and when you start your monk mode, do what I call the open awareness practice. So pick an item. I've got a pen here. So any random item, I could pick my coffee cup or whatever. So I've got a pen. I set a timer on my phone for 3 minutes, or you can just start your stopwatch and don't stop for 3 minutes. But you're going to do 3+ minutes of this. For 3 straight minutes, you're going to maintain your awareness on the object, okay? Which in the first 20 to 30 seconds is going to be super easy. You're just going to notice all kinds of interesting features about the object. And then it's going to get challenging because it's going to get boring. You're going to get distracted. You have to come back to the object. You might start saying stuff like, this is so freaking stupid. This guy, John, who suggested this, is a friggin' idiot. Why am I even doing this? This is stupid. Okay, there's a thought. You're going to have thoughts. They don't matter. Go back to the pen. You're going to have feelings like, oh, I'm feeling impatient. I'm feeling uncomfortable. I'm feeling silly. Doesn't matter. Notice them, let go of them, go back to the pen. Okay. If you can't do that, you can't do the meditation. If you can't do that, you can't do the meditation. And I really mean that. And you think this is silly, but when we're talking about the pen is actually easier than what you're going to encounter when you do the meditation. Try it and see what I'm talking about. Okay. So you're going to do the open awareness at least once a day for 3 minutes between now and when you start your monk mode. Okay. So when you do your monk mode, unless you have already decided on a particular form of meditation, or if maybe you're an experienced meditator and this whole video doesn't make any sense to you at all, so go do something more interesting. But if you are an inexperienced meditator and you don't have much experience meditating, but you're about to plunge into a commitment to doing 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes of meditation a day during your monk mode, I want to teach you how to do it so you are set up to be successful. Okay. So the good news is super simple. I can teach you this in under 5 minutes. The good news is, too, I've taught this to thousands of people, and it is the most effective form of meditation that I've ever taught people. And I have explored many types of meditation myself. It's the most effective thing for me in my life as well. Okay. So here's how it goes. Relax your body. You're in a stable position. You're either sitting in a chair, you're lying down, you're on a couch. Don't be in a constricted position or something. Be in a relatively stable, relaxed position. That's element number 1. Okay. Element number 2, turn your attention to your body. When I do that, I start to notice the movement of my belly and my chest when I'm breathing. I can feel my heart beating. Sometimes people feel pressure inside their ears in different parts of the body. Okay. Whatever you notice, it's what you notice. Those are your physical feelings. And we are maintaining present centered mindful awareness of the body and of the breath. So all of that's fair game. It's totally fine. We're just not going to get fused with any of those feelings and take the ball and run with it. We're just going to notice it. And we're just going to watch the breath the same way as you would watch waves coming in and out of the ocean. Okay. We're not controlling the waves. We're just observing waves coming in and out, in and out. And so our body's relaxed. We're relatively stable. We're watching the breath as it comes in and out. We're not trying to change the breath. And this last component, which is absolutely essential, every time you breathe in silently to yourself in your head, say in through the whole in phase. Every single time you breathe out silently to yourself, say out, however long you're breathing out. So over and over inside your head, silent yourself. It'll just be in, out, in, out, while you maintain present-oriented awareness of the body. And if at the point where you start doing the intensive longer periods of meditation, if you've done practice with this and the open awareness exercise and the 333 exercise, you're going to do this about 1 trillion times better than if you just decided, oh, I'm meditating. I'll set a timer for 10 minutes and do 10 minutes meditation, but I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, okay? You need to know what you're doing, and you need to start to acquire some skill to do it, because it actually is simple and yet one of the most challenging things that you will ever do in your entire life. I guarantee it, okay? So between now and whatever day you plan to start your monk mode, I want you to do 1-minute sessions of mindful breathing like I just described. Do not do more than a minute, okay? Between now and when you start monk mode, do not do more than 1 minute at a time, but you can do as many 1-minute sessions as you want in a day. And in fact, I recommend that you do about 5 1-minute sessions every single day between now and when you're doing monk mode, because if you do that and you start monk mode like a week from now, you will have done a minute 35 times. And even in that relatively small number, 35 is not a lot. 35 total minutes is not a lot of time, really, but it's actually enough to start to train your brain to be fit in the way that you need it to be fit in order to actually do the more heroic thing that you're likely agreeing with yourself to do during your monk mode. So I hope this is helpful. If you like this kind of stuff, hit the like button below. Feel free to check out my other videos on the channel. Feel free to subscribe. You can check back later. I may make a longer, more in-depth video on monk mode at some point. But I wanted to share this just because it looks like a lot of people, I mean, like some of the people publishing monk mode videos on YouTube are getting like 1 million views. So clearly a lot of people are interested in doing this. And just because of what I said earlier, so many people just don't know how to do meditation. I'm a little sad when I think about millions of people out there setting a 10-minute timer and wasting 10 minutes and not getting some good quality meditation as an essential component to how they want to do monk mode and to the ends that they're using monk mode to achieve. So hopefully that helped you. And if you have comments, feel free to comment below, and I'll see you in another video.